what we are going to learn today. That is, what is the need for IoT. Okay. So first thing is, let us check what is this IoT. So the definition states that in a network, this is a kind of a network where your physical objects, almost all physical objects, almost all. I'm not limiting myself to stop certain physical objects getting connected with IoT. Okay, that means all your physical objects which has that capability to connect. Okay, with internet, it should have some embedded electronics in it. So the reason why you require electronics there is, so these are responsible for getting, acquiring, processing the data pertaining to the environment. In your environment, what and all things we measure, there are certain physical parameters that we can measure. The best physical parameter as an example is light, quality of air, then humidity, temperature, okay, then things like this, which are connected to the internet with the help of some electronics, where this physical interaction happens only when you measure with sensors. So when you measure some physical data with the help of sensors, that means you are actually making the things to interact with the environment, or you are making the internet to interact with the environment. Okay. The first requirement for any IoT thing is you require the network connectivity. That means without network connectivity or without the internet, there is no point of IoT. So IoT, the name itself tells that Internet of Things. That means internet is the heart and soul of your IoT network. IoT network. So what this IoT does? This IoT does fundamentally lot of things. Okay, but basically what it does is it will collect the data and it will exchange the data. What it will collect as in the form of the data, for example, your temperature measurement of a room, so that I can switch on an AC which is connected somewhere to the internet. For example, this is the scenario. So in the scenario like this, okay, what it should first measure, you should first measure the things. Okay, just like we humans interact with the environment, what we do, we actually feel, we feel with some senses, just like we can sense taste, we can sense light, we can sense touch. Okay, so all these things are integrated in our body, so which enables us to collect the data. So now which part of the human being will process the data? Obviously is the brain, but where you are exchanging the data? We humans don't exchange the data as it is. Okay, we might change the form. So for example, if somebody is feeling very hot, somebody might not feel the same hotness. Okay, there is a difference. But in case of IoT environment, what this thing does is it will collect the data and it will exchange the data. At the same time, this IoT devices which are enabled to control some devices. I mean, ultimately why we are connecting, because in some remote location will be, so it will basically exchange the data, collect and exchange. At the same time, it has the capacity to control. Okay, this is the fundamental definition of an IoT. But how you are enabling these devices to connect to your network? For example, you take a water bottle. Water bottle doesn't have any electronics on it. Will it be able to connect to internet? No, definitely not. It is not capable of connecting it to the internet. But you can add something to this water bottle or any device, any physical device, which enables it to connect to internet. That means you require some additional hardware in order to make any physical device to connect it with the internet. Okay. Now, for example, you take a phone. Your phone has inbuilt Wi-Fi in it, so it is already connected with the internet. But what and all data it will transfer to the internet? A lot of data. Okay, lot of things that you do on the mobile phone. For example, sharing a video, sharing a photograph. Everything is already been interacting with the IoT. So your phone itself is an IoT device because it's a physical thing. You can actually touch, feel a phone, and whatever the data pertaining to the phone is being exchanged to the internet. So it looks very simple, but when it comes to implementation of IoT, it will become very complex and very tough as well. So in the context of IoT, okay, the thing is nothing but a physical quantity that has unique identifier. What is this unique identifier? So unique identity is nothing but a number or a text with which you can identify that device. For example, you take your laptop or a phone, even a normal phone will have some number called as a MAC number. Okay, that's its identity. IMEI number, that's its unique identity, right? So these numbers will ultimately tell you what information it is like. It will tell you how I can identify the device, okay, how I can identify the physical quantity or physical object, right? So it, for this particular identity, what you require is basically an electronic device, an electronic embedded system. Okay, what is embedded system? Basically a controller with memory and with IOs is called as an embedded system. In general, you might have studied this subject earlier also, so I need not to explain that much. So for example, I just need to measure the level of a water bottle. Okay, for this I require two sensors, the top level sensor and a bottom level sensor. These sensors are connected with a controller. So controller will actually exchange the data with your IoT platform or IoT thing. So for exchanging the data you require a network, okay, or a interface. So this controller will have some unique identity. Okay, what is this? It's a MAC number, IMEI number, some identity, right? Just like your IP. Okay, internet IP number is also a unique identity, right? So that unique identifier will tell you whether it is a water bottle, whether it is a tank, whether it is something, you can name it. For example, this is water bottle, I'm just naming it. So this will have an unique identity with respect to the controller. Very simple. So now, what is this unique identity doing? What is the purpose of this? The first thing is, unique identity will always tell you what kind of physical quantity you are measuring, how the physical quantity is varying, okay, for example, temperature and pressure, right, etc. Now, where you can apply this things, this IoT things, heart monitoring implants. Have you heard something like this? This is something called as a pacemaker. Okay, pacemakers are the devices which will make a node called as sinoatrial node. It's in your heart. When it fails to actually function, what happens? This pacemakers will give that pulses. Lot of heart patients will have this thing, which is very crucial. If you don't wear a pacemaker, that person will die, or he might have to face some acute conditions, right? So heart monitoring implants can be connected. The reason is data pertaining to the heart are very essential there. So you can connect it with wires, or you can connect it with a wireless technology. Earlier wires used to be there. You have a person with this particular implants has to carry lot of wires. Unfortunately, he or she used to face a lot of issues pertaining to the wire connectivity and they have to connect an external battery, etc., etc. All these things are there. So this can be avoided with an IoT, because IoT works with a wireless. If you have a Wi-Fi connected with your heart monitoring implant, that's enough. You can transfer as much data you can through the device. Biochip transponders for the farm animals. For example, in conditions where this typical farm animals in a group, in a herd of let us say 100, if they are missing, it is very tough to find. This can be solved by one problem. There will be a small biochip transponders which will be tied on some horns or on the head regions, or maybe in around the
Yes, sir.
neck.
But those are nowadays for the
No, biochip transponders are something which will tell you what is their
but before
geometric location. Now
now they are having. Oh, yes,
now they
sir.
are having, yes. So these biochip transponders, what do? They'll actually respond giving some data. What is this data? This data is basically a geometric data or geolocation. Okay, where this cattle is exactly locating, right? Right. So now the third application is automobiles with built-in sensors. Earlier days we don't have sensors that measure carbon monoxide, oxygen intake, okay, braking systems, which is ABS nowadays, which is very mandatory. So ABS, whether the brakes are properly applied or not, pressure sensors for the car or vehicle tires. Okay, so these things are sensors which will measure the physical parameters. But after measuring what this thing will do, this will actually push the data into the controller of the car or controller of any automobile. This controller, when it is connected with your phone, it is directly connected with an IoT platform. It will tell you the performance of the vehicle. Something which is wearable. Most of you guys will have wearables nowadays, like a wristband that will measure number of steps taken, your heartbeat, your ECG, your oxygen intake, especially for this pandemic. It is specific oxygen or oxygen intake or oxygen consumed by the body. All these sensors which are there in that single band, it will measure certain data, and it is connected with your mobile phone or maybe your smartphone, which in turn it is directly connected with a IoT platform. But this IoT platform, what it will suggest, today you have not taken 1000 steps, so please do it. It's a kind of reminder. It will make you healthy. So at the same time, some DNA analysis devices which are connected, for example, DNA analysis sample might have sent to a foreign laboratory. So they'll do DNA analysis, especially when there is some requirement to analyze the DNA or maybe any forensics. Okay. So this police department people, they'll actually send these samples to different location, but the report will be sent through online. Okay, you can actually monitor whether the report has been made properly or not. You can visualize what is happening with the device. So that also becomes a IoT platform. So let us look into the origination of IoT, where a fresher and a graduate, Kevin Aston, he has actually termed the name Internet of Things. Okay, so he's basically from MIT, not the MIT in Chennai. It is Massachusetts Institute of Technology. It's located in Massachusetts. So it has something called as they actually coined this based on some fundamental global research, where they made an auto ID center. That means it will automatically take some reference numbers, okay, into the consideration. They basically integrated the first device that is integrated with IoT is RFID. Okay, previously somebody was discussing about RFID, which is a radio frequency ID integrated chip. It's a device where it uses radio frequency waves in order to check whether the thing is present or not and the data pertaining to a particular object. Right. It is developed in the IoT laboratory only. The name of the laboratory is IoT laboratory, but he has coined this name in 1999. It's a very new technology. Okay, this is the guy who has named the thing. So there are a lot of things that you have seen, that information in a great way is to reduce waste and increase efficiency. That is really what the Internet of Things provide. The statement what this Kevin has posted is, you get more information about a device, that means the lesser will be the wastage. You take, the best example is you take your household waste. The best example is the food waste. Okay. So if you measure what is the quantity of waste that you are doing, for example food waste, okay, then waste pertaining to the vegetables, that the peels and all, fruits, etc., etc., you measure the quantity. So when you measure the quantity, it is easy to find out what is the amount of waste. So how will you measure? So the best thing is you put something underneath your the waste bin or the dust bin. So it will measure what is the weight of the waste that you have developed today. Okay. So this is how you can make things more smarter, right? So how does this IoT works? Okay, look at the point number 1. So the Internet of Things, also sometimes referred as Internet of Everything, consists of web enabled devices. Okay, as I have discussed, for enabling any typical devices with web or web connectivity, that means it has to have some electronic embedded system or electronic system which is connected to measure the physical parameter, right. So, this physical parameters are basically the parameters which you measure, which can be measurable. For example, temperature, pressure. In the previous example of household waste, dustbin, the amount of waste that is collected can be measured in kgs, right. You have, along with sensors, what is the need for processors? So, you have data. This data has to be passed on to something called as a microcontroller. Let us say any microcontroller device. So, this is your pressure sensor, let us say. What is the pressure sensor do? Pressure sensor, actually the pressure is an analog quantity, right. It varies with respect to time, or it may be stable, okay, but it is an analog quantity. So, this analog quantity, what you have to do is you have to convert this analog quantity in your communication systems. You might have studied this A to D converter. So, this sensory data is converted to digital data, because digital data, nowadays we are living in a digital era. This digital data has to be passed on to your internet, right, because you require the digital data has to be passed on to the internet. Before processing or before transferring the data, this microcontroller will actually make the data suitable for transmission, makes the data suitable for transmission. Just like the way you are sitting in a car, okay, you have to follow certain rule. So, you have to wear a seat belt, you have to be stable in the car, you should not move here and there are certain restrictions. So, that in the same way, what this thing does is, this microcontroller will actually create a stable data that will be passed on to the internet, right. So, in this process, okay, in this process, it will do some operation on the data. For example, addition, multiplication, some fundamental operations it will do. And that's coming to the point number 2, where these devices are often called as connected or smart devices. Why you call your phone a smartphone? Because it is connected with the internet. Earlier phones, they don't have any internet, they are just connected to the network, that's it. Okay, people like you who have thought in a different way, they have added internet to the phone. Nowadays the phones are becoming self-learning, artificial intelligence is included in it, everything is made very smart. The reason why it is smart is it can actually communicate, it can actually take some decision. Okay, whenever your phone battery is very low, it will tell you, it will notify you that your battery is very low. But earlier phones, did they? Yes, to a limited extent, right. So, these are connected, okay. Sometimes talk to the other related devices, Can you tell what is a best example for this? The best example I have already told you, your smartwatch connected with your mobile phone or your smartphone, right, connected with your smartphone, then this is connected with your internet. So, here two devices are talking to each other. This is machine 1, I will consider this as machine 1 and machine 2. Okay. These two machines are talking with the help of a Bluetooth, right. So, this interface is also called as machine to machine communication, right. Whenever your smartwatch talks to your phone, okay, or your phone talks to your smartwatch, it is a two-way communication. So, they get information from both the ends. Smartwatch can read your phone can read your smartwatch. How it is happening? Okay, because it is a bidirectional data transmission, right. So, they get some information from about your body condition. Let us say this a human being connected with your smartwatch, what it is measuring, as somebody has told you, it will measure pulse, that is your heartbeat, ultimately ECG, electrocardiograph, that is about his heart condition. Then it will measure temperature of the human body, the number of steps he is taking in order to tell whether he is a healthy human or not, or whether he is exercising properly or not. So, all this data is actually transferred through the smartwatch into your phone. Can your phone directly access this? Not possible. Your phone does not have any sensors like that in order to measure pulse, ECG, etc., etc. That is called as a machine to machine communication.